Downfall of a Pied Piper. R. Kelly's shocking crimes. The story of R. Kelly is one that has shocked the world, revealing the dark side of a man who was once celebrated as a musical icon. R. Kelly. The name once meant chart-topping hits, electrifying performances, musical genius. He was the voice behind some of the most memorable songs of the 90s and early 2000s, a true maestro in the world of R&B. Now, it's synonymous with something far darker: sexual abuse, manipulation, and a stunning fall from grace. The man who once serenaded millions with his soulful voice is now a symbol of betrayal and horror. This isn't a story about bad decisions or a fall from grace. It's a tale of calculated predation, where the lines between fame and infamy blurred in the most disturbing ways. This is about a predator, plain and simple. A man who used his influence and charm to lure and trap his victims, leaving a trail of broken lives in his wake. Kelly's crimes weren't just morally reprehensible. They landed him in serious legal hot water. The legal system finally caught up with him, and the charges were as severe as they were numerous. We're talking decades in prison, folks. A sentence that reflects the gravity of his actions and the pain he inflicted on so many. Multiple charges, multiple victims, and a mountain of evidence that painted a chilling picture of a man who used his fame and power to exploit the vulnerable. The courtroom was filled with testimonies and evidence that left no doubt about his guilt. This isn't just a celebrity scandal, it's a societal reckoning, a moment where we must confront the uncomfortable truths about power, fame, and the abuse that can hide behind a public persona. It's a stark reminder of the dark underbelly of fame and the human cost of unchecked power. The glitz and glamour often mask the sinister realities that lurk beneath the surface. It's a story about the courage of survivors who dared to speak out against a powerful abuser. Their bravery has shone a light on the darkness, giving hope to others who have suffered in silence. Buckle up, folks, because this is a wild ride through the twisted legal saga of R. Kelly, a journey that exposes the depths of human depravity and the resilience of those who fight for justice. The hammer drops: racketeering and sex trafficking. 1. A year that saw R. Kelly finally face the music. And the music stopped. The world watched as the once celebrated artist was brought to justice. A Brooklyn courtroom became the stage for his reckoning. It was a trial that captivated the nation, drawing attention from all corners of the globe. The charges? Racketeering and sex trafficking, the kind of stuff you usually only see in mob movies. But this was no movie. It was real life, and the stakes were incredibly high. The prosecution didn't hold back. They presented a mountain of evidence, meticulously gathered over years of investigation. Witnesses, audio recordings, and even a shocking marriage to the late singer Aaliyah when she was just 15 years old. The details were harrowing, painting a picture of systematic abuse and manipulation. The defense? They tried to paint Kelly as a flawed artist, a victim of his own success. They argued that his eccentricities and lifestyle were misunderstood, not criminal. It didn't fly. The jury saw through the defense's arguments. The verdict was swift and brutal. Guilty. On all counts. The courtroom erupted in a mix of relief and sorrow. The judge didn't mince words, calling Kelly's crimes calculated, systematic, and depraved. His remarks were a stark reminder of the gravity of the offenses. The sentence? 30 years. 3-0. A sentence that reflected the severity of his actions and the impact on his victims. Let that sink in. R. Kelly, the self-proclaimed king of R&B, was going to prison for a very long time. His fall from grace was complete. This wasn't just about one man's crimes. It was a victory for survivors of sexual abuse everywhere. Their voices had been heard, and justice had been served. It sent a clear message: power and fame don't make you untouchable. The case became a symbol of hope and resilience for many, showing that no matter how powerful someone might seem, they are not above the law. A pattern of abuse. 2019. Charges and more victims. The year 2019 marked a significant turning point in the ongoing saga of R. Kelly's legal battles. But the 2021 trial wasn't the end of the story. Remember 2019? It was a year that set the stage for what was to come, a prelude to the dramatic courtroom scenes that would later unfold. It was like a warm-up act for the main event. The allegations and charges that surfaced in 2019 were a harbinger of the more severe accusations that would follow. That year, Kelly was hit with a slew of charges in Chicago: aggravated criminal sexual abuse involving 4 victims, 3 of whom were underage at the time of the alleged abuse. These charges painted a grim picture of a man who had used his position to exploit the vulnerable. The accusations were eerily similar to those in the later federal case. The stories told by the victims echoed each other, creating a chilling pattern of behavior that was hard to ignore. Young women, often aspiring singers hoping for Kelly's mentorship, claimed he manipulated and abused them. They spoke of promises of fame and success that quickly turned into nightmares of control and abuse. He used his fame, his wealth, his power to control them, to isolate them, to silence them. The luxurious settings where these abuses took place only added to the surreal horror of their experiences. These charges, while serious, didn't carry the same weight as the federal racketeering charges. Yet, they were a crucial part of the puzzle, revealing the extent of Kelly's predatory behavior. However, they added to the growing narrative of R. Kelly as a serial abuser, a predator hiding in plain sight. Public outrage grew as more details emerged, and the media coverage intensified. The world was starting to see R. Kelly for what he truly was. The facade of the successful musician was crumbling, revealing a much darker reality. And the truth was far more disturbing than any song he ever sang. The revelations of 2019 were just the beginning, setting the stage for the legal battles and public reckoning that would follow. Trapped in his own web. Kelly's denials and conspiracy theories. Throughout all of this, R. Kelly maintained his innocence. He denied all the allegations, claiming he was a victim of a grand conspiracy. He claimed the women were lying, trying to extort him, seeking their 15 minutes of fame. He even went on national television, famously breaking down in a bizarre, rambling interview, proclaiming, "I didn't do this stuff! This is not me!" But tears and denials weren't enough to erase the mountain of evidence against him. The jury saw through the charade. The judge saw through the charade. The world saw through the charade. R. Kelly's carefully constructed facade of fame and fortune crumbled, revealing the ugly truth beneath. Section 5. A media circus. The world watches in disbelief. R. Kelly's legal downfall wasn't just confined to courtrooms and legal documents. Oh no, this was a full-blown media spectacle. News outlets couldn't get enough of it. Every twist and turn, every salacious detail, every shocking revelation was plastered across headlines and splashed across our screens. Social media became a battleground. Some defended Kelly, clinging to the music they loved, refusing to believe the accusations. Others expressed outrage and disgust, demanding justice for the victims. The hashtag #MeToo movement, already in full swing, amplified the voices of survivors and fueled the public outcry against Kelly. The public was captivated, horrified, and utterly engrossed in the downfall of a man who had once seemed untouchable. R. Kelly's story became a cautionary tale, a stark reminder that fame and fortune don't absolve you of your crimes. Section 6. The price of fame, power, celebrity, and predatory behavior. R. Kelly's case wasn't just about one man's crimes. It shone a harsh light on a disturbing pattern within the entertainment industry. The dangerous intersection of power, celebrity, and predatory behavior. When someone reaches a certain level of fame, they often become surrounded by yes men, enablers who protect them, cover up their misdeeds, and turn a blind eye to their abuses. These enablers become complicit in the system, allowing predators to operate with impunity. The music industry in particular has a long and sordid history of turning a blind eye to the exploitation of young artists, especially women. R. Kelly's case was a wake-up call, a reminder that the industry needs a serious overhaul. Section 7. Beyond R. Kelly, a reckoning in the entertainment industry. R. Kelly's downfall coincided with a broader cultural reckoning. The #MeToo movement had emboldened survivors of sexual assault and harassment to come forward, to share their stories, and to demand accountability from their abusers. The entertainment industry, long shrouded in secrecy and protected by a culture of silence, was finally being forced to confront its demons. Harvey Weinstein, Bill Cosby, Kevin Spacey. These were just a few of the powerful men who faced accusations and, in some cases, legal consequences for their actions. R. Kelly's case, while shocking, was not an isolated incident. It was a symptom of a systemic problem, the abuse of power and the silencing of victims. Section 8. The power of speaking out, survivors' voices, drive change. One of the most remarkable aspects of R. Kelly's downfall was the courage of his victims. These women, many of whom had been silenced and intimidated for years, found the strength to come forward, to share their stories, and to face their abuser in court. Their voices were powerful, their testimonies harrowing. They painted a devastating picture of the abuse they suffered at the hands of a man they had once admired and trusted. Their bravery was instrumental in securing R. Kelly's conviction. Their stories sent a powerful message: you are not alone. There is strength in numbers, and your voice matters.